Hi, my friends. Good to see you again. Have you had a good day? I did lots of things like working, and I made lunch, and I took a shower, and I washed my hair. I know. Today, I have some friends that are making some guest appearances. So this is a new friend. Her name is Emmy. Oh, she said hi to you. She likes you. Uh-huh. Oh, she wants to hear a story. So we're going to have her stay here and hear a story. And then I have lots of other friends who are going to hear the story also. So if you have friends and you want to bring them, have them come. Lots of friends. Oh, see this big guy? He's going to come. Oh, lots and lots of friends. So get all of your friends together. And today we are going to read Frog and Toad. Do you know this story? I think all of us have some frog and toad in us, and you'll see why. Because some of us are having lots of fun, and some of us want to stay in bed. Get ready. So these are my friends, Frog and Toad. Frog and Toad are friends. Do you have lots of friends? I bet you do, because you're very nice. This one is called Spring. It's starting to feel like spring outside. Did you go outside today? I did not go outside today, but I might open the window later. So that's exciting. Frog ran up the path to Toad's house. He knocked on the front door. Can everybody knock? You ready? 1, 2, 3. There was no answer. Toad! Toad, shouted Frog. Wake up! It's spring! Blah, said a voice from inside the house. Toad! Toad, cried Frog. The sun is shining. The snow is melting. Wake up! I'm not here, said the voice. Do you see? There's Frog knocking on the door. Frog walked into the house. It was dark. All the shutters were closed. Toad, where are you? Called Frog. Go away, said the voice from a corner of the room. Toad was lying in bed. He had pulled all the covers over his head. Frog pushed Toad out of bed. He pushed him out of the house and onto the front porch. Toad blinked in the bright sun. Help, said Toad. I cannot see anything. Oh. Do you see? There's Toad in his bed. Oh, I love snuggling in my bed. Don't be silly, said Frog. What you see is the clear light of April, and it means that we can begin a whole new year together, Toad. Think of it, said Frog. We will skip through the meadows and run through the woods and swim through the river. In the evenings, we will sit right here on this front porch and count the stars. You can count them, Frog, said Toad. I will be too tired. I am going back to bed. Oh. Toad went back into the house. He got into the bed and pulled the covers over his head again. Oh. But Toad, cried Frog, you will miss all the fun. Listen, Frog, said Toad. How long have I been asleep? You've been asleep since November, said Frog. Well then, said Toad, a little more sleep will not hurt me. Come back again and wake me up when it's 1/2 May. Good night, Frog. Oh. But Toad, said Frog, I will be lonely until then. Toad did not answer. He had fallen asleep. Frog looked at Toad's calendar. The November page was still on top. Frog tore off the November page. He tore off the December page, and the January page, and the February page, and the March page, and he came to the April page. Can you help me tear off the April page? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Frog tore off the April page 2. Then Frog ran back to Toad's bed. Toad! Toad! Wake up! It's May now! What? Said Toad. Can it be May so soon? Yes, said Frog. Look at your calendar. Toad looked at the calendar. The May page was on top. Oh. Why, it is May, said Toad, and he climbed out of bed. Then he and Frog ran outside to see the world was looking in the spring. Do you see the friends going off together? That was a good story. This one is called The Story. The Story. One day in the summer, Frog was not feeling well. Toad said, Frog, you are looking quite green. But I always look green, said Frog. I am a frog. Today, you look very green even for a frog, said Toad. Get into my bed and rest. Toad made Frog a cup of hot tea. Frog drank the tea and said, Tell me a story while I am resting. All right, said Toad. Let me think of a story to tell you. Toad thought and thought. He could not think of a story to tell Frog. Can you think of a good story? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one, too. Really good ideas. I will go to the front porch and walk up and down, said Toad. Perhaps that will help me to think of a story. Toad walked up and down on the porch for a long time, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog. You should tell him your ideas because you have good ideas and you could help him. Then Toad went into the house and he stood on his head. Can you stand on your head? Oh, don't try. That's dangerous. Let's not do that. Why are you standing on your head? Asked Frog. I hope that if I stand on my head, it will help me to think of a story, said Toad. Toad stood on his head for a long time, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog. Isn't that funny? That's Toad standing on his head. Silly Toad. Then Toad poured a glass of water. Oh, I have a glass of water here. Should I pour it over my... No, I'm not going to pour it on my head. That was silly. Why are you pouring water over your head? Asked Frog. I hope that if I pour water over my head, it will help me to think of a story, said Toad. Toad poured many glasses of water over his head, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog. Hi, Mia. Oh, here's the water pouring. Hi, Peter. Oh, good thing I didn't pour water over my head. Mia, are you proud of me that I washed my hair today? I know. Then Toad began to bang his head against the wall. Why are you banging your head against the wall? Asked Frog. I hope that if I bang my head against the wall hard enough, it will help me think of a story, said Toad. Look at this banging situation. Ouch! That really looks like it hurts. I am feeling much better now, Toad, said Frog. I do not think I need a story anymore. Then get out of bed and let me get into it, said Toad, because now I feel terrible. Would you like me to tell you a story, Toad? Said Frog. Yes, said Toad, if you know one. Once upon a time, said Frog, there were two good friends, a frog and a toad. The frog was not feeling well. He asked his friend the toad to tell him a story. The toad could not think of a story. He walked up and down on the porch, but he could not think of a story. He stood on his head, but he could not think of a story. He poured water all over him. Oh, no. Don't pour water on your head. But he could not think of a story. He banged his head against the wall. Don't do that either. But he could not think of a story. Then Toad did not feel so well, and Frog was feeling better. So then Toad went to the bed, and Frog got up and told him a story. The end. How was that, Toad? Said Frog. But Toad did not answer. He had fallen asleep. I see my friends Yael and Isabella. Hi, my friends. Is Baraki there too? Oh, hi, Baraki. And I see my friend Jackie and Juliet and Lily. Hi, everybody. Oh, this has happened to me before. Actually, this happens to me right now. Oh, no, Michelle. Sorry, we're not doing songs. This is just reading stories today, but we can sing songs later. Emmy and Ollie are here. Hi, Emmy and Ollie. Oh, Emmy, look. This is Emmy the plant, and that's Emmy the girl. Okay, back to business. A lost button. Oh, so I was telling you that there is a button lost in my office, and I cannot find it, and it is a blue button. So when this is all over, if someone wants to come help me find the button, like Michelle, you would be a good person to come help me find the button. Or Spencer, if you're here, Mia, you'd be a really good person to help me find the button. James, you could help me find the button. Dylan, you could. Hi, Quinn, you could help me find the button. A lost button. Toad and Frog went for a long walk. They walked across a large meadow. They walked into the woods. They walked along a river. At last they went back home to Toad's house. "Oh, drat," said Toad. "Not only do my feet hurt, but I have lost one of the buttons on my jacket." "Don't worry," said Frog. "We will go back to all the places where we walked. We will soon find your button." They walked back to the large meadow. They began to look for the button in the tall grass. Oh, maybe the button is here in Emmy. I'll look in the tall grass. I don't see the button. I think it's gone forever. "Not only do my feet hurt, but I have lost one of the buttons on my jacket." A sparrow. Do you know what a sparrow is? It's a bird. It's a little bird. Very cute. A sparrow flew down. "Excuse me," said the sparrow. "Did you lose a button? I found one." "That is not my button," said Toad. He should have said thank you anyway, don't you think? I think so. Anyway, "That is not my button," said Toad. And did he need to have such an attitude problem? We should be nicer than that. Let's try it different. "That is not my button," said Toad. That was a little better, but he should have still said thank you. "That button has 2 holes, and my button has," how many is this? 4 holes. Toad put the button with 2 holes in his pocket. They went back to the woods, and Toad looked on the dark paths. "Here is your button," said Frog. "That is not my button," cried Toad. "That button is small, and my button was big." Toad put the small button in his pocket. There's the sparrow, and there's the small button. A raccoon came out from behind a tree. "I heard that you were looking for a button," he said. "Here is one that I just found." "That is not my button," wailed Toad. "That button is that's square, maybe? Square. My button was round." Toad put the square button in his pocket. Frog and Toad went back to the river. They looked for the button in the mud. "Here's your button," said Frog. "That is not my button," shouted Toad. "That button is thin, and my button was thick." Toad put the thin button in his pocket. He was very angry. He jumped up and down and screamed, "The whole world is covered with buttons, and not one of them is mine." Toad ran home and slammed the door. There, on the floor, he saw his white, 4-holed, big, round, thick button. "Oh!" Toad said. "It was here the whole time. What a lot of trouble I made for Frog." Can you see the button on the floor right there? Oy, oy, oy. Maybe my button's on the floor of my office, but I don't think so. I looked. Toad looked at all the buttons out of his pocket. He took his sewing box down from the shelf, and Toad sewed the buttons all over his jacket. The next day, Toad gave his jacket to Frog. Frog thought it was beautiful, and he put it on and jumped for joy. None of the buttons fell off. Toad had sewed them on very well. I know, Jack, he needs to calm down. Nothing is worth being that crazy. I know. Crazy. A swim. Do you like to go swimming? I like to go swimming. I bought some new bathing suits, so I'm very excited for the next time I get to go swimming. Toad and Frog went down to the river. "What a day for a swim," said Frog. "Yes," said Toad, "I will go behind these rocks and put on my bathing suit." Oh, we know this one. Get ready. "I don't wear a bathing suit," said Frog. "Well, I do," said Toad. "After I put on my bathing suit, you must not look at me until I get into the water." Do you know why? I know why. Why not? Asked Frog. "Because I look funny in my bathing suit, that's why," said Toad. Frog closed his eyes. When Toad came out from behind the rocks, Toad was wearing his bathing suit. "Don't peek," he said. Frog and Toad jumped into the water. They swam all afternoon. Frog swam fast and made big splashes. Toad swam slowly and made smaller splashes. A turtle came along the riverbank. "Frog, tell that turtle to go away," said Toad. "I do not want him to see me in my bathing suit when I come out of the river." Frog swam over to the turtle. "Turtle, you will have to go away." "Why should I?" asked the turtle. "Because," you want to sing it with me? "Toad looks funny in a bathing suit." Toad looks funny in a bathing suit? It's a riot, it's a hoot. Toad looks funny in a bathing suit. Some lizards were sitting nearby. Jonathan, are you there? Because it's your turn. Oh, you are. I see. Jonathan, get ready. Some lizards were sitting nearby. "Does Toad really look funny in his bathing suit?" they asked. A snake crawled out of the grass. Can I see some snakes? "Oh, if Toad looks funny in his bathing suit," said the snake, "then I, for one, want to see him. It's a riot, it's a hoot. Toad looks funny in a bathing suit." "We want to see him too," said 2 dragonflies. "Me too," said a field mouse. "I have not seen anything funny in a long time." Do you see? The dragonflies and the mousey. Oh, good job, Jonathan. I'm glad you're here because I needed help. Frog swam back to Toad. "I am sorry, Toad," he said. "Everyone wants to see how you will look." "Then I will stay right here until they go away," said Toad. The turtle and the lizard and the snake and the dragonflies and the field mouse all sat on the riverbank. They waited for Toad to come out of the water. "Please," cried Frog, "please go away." But no one went away. Do you see everybody sitting on the water? Oh, Snakey, turtle, mouse, frog, toad. I don't see dragonflies. Do you see the dragon? Is that a dragonfly? Maybe. Toad was getting colder and colder. He was beginning to shiver. Let me see everybody shivering. "Oh, I have to come out of the water," said Toad. "I'm catching a cold. Oh, it's very chilly." Toad climbed out of the river. The water dripped off his bathing suit and down onto his feet. Do you see him? Get a load of Toad. Ha! The turtle laughed. The lizards laughed. The snakes laughed. The field mouse laughed. The frogs laughed. "What are you all laughing at, Frog?" said Toad. "I'm laughing at you, Toad," said Frog, "because you do look funny in a bathing suit." "Of course I do," said Toad. Then he picked up his clothes and went home. That wasn't very nice of them. I think they should apologize also. No one's going to be laughing at me in my bathing suit. They're from Target. I highly recommend it. The letter. Oh, we know this one too. The letter. Toad was sitting on his front porch. Frog came along and said, "What's the matter, Toad?" Because you know Toad is always having some problems. "You are looking sad." "Yes," said Toad. "This is my sad time of day. It is the time when I wait for the mail to come. It always makes me very unhappy." "Why is that?" asked Toad. "Because I never get any mail." "Not ever?" asked Frog. "Not ever," said Toad. "No one has ever sent me a letter. Every day my mailbox is empty. That's why I was waiting for the mail. It's a sad time of day for me." Frog and Toad sat on the porch, feeling sad together. Then Frog said, "I have to go home now, Toad. There's something I must do." Frog hurried home. He found a pencil and a piece of paper, and he wrote on the paper. He put the paper in an envelope. On the envelope he wrote, "A letter for Toad." Frog ran out of his house. He saw the snail that he knew. "Snail," said Frog, "please take this letter to Toad's house and put it in his mailbox." "Sure," said the snail, "right away." We know this one too. "I'm carrying a letter, a most important letter, a letter Frog has written to Toad." Then Frog ran back to Toad's house. Toad was in bed taking a nap. "Toad," said Frog, "I think you should get up and wait for the mail some more." "No," said Toad, "I am tired of waiting for the mail." Frog looked out of the window at Toad's mailbox. The snail was not there yet. "Toad," said Frog, "you never know when someone might send you a letter." "No, no," said Toad. "I do not think anyone will ever send me a letter." Frog looked out the window. The snail was not there yet. "But Toad," said Frog, "someone might send you a letter today." "Don't be silly," said Toad. "No one has ever sent me a letter, and no one will send me a letter today." Frog looked out the window. The snail was still not there. "Frog, why do you keep looking out of the window?" said Toad. "Because now I'm waiting for the mail," said Frog. "But there will not be any," said Toad. Jeez, it's not very hopeful, these people. Whew. Me, I like this one too, because we like the snails. Might be the best song, just saying. "Oh, yes, there will," said Frog, "because I have sent you a letter." "You have?" said Toad. "What did you write in the letter?" Frog said, "I wrote, 'Dear Toad, I am glad that you are my best friend. Your best friend, Frog.'" "Oh," said Toad. "That makes a very good letter." Then Frog and Toad went out to the front porch to wait for the mail. They sat there feeling happy together. Frog and Toad waited a long time. 4 days later, the snails got to Toad's house and gave him the letter from Frog. Toad was very pleased to have it. Well, my friends, that is our first group of stories for today. And next week, we're going to read more from Frog and Toad. If you could say goodbye to all of these friends. And Emmy the plant. Emmy the plant. Come say goodbye. She wants more stories also. So we're going to have more stories and more singing. I understand we want more singing. Don't worry. But we have our wishing star again. Do you remember your wish from yesterday? We're going to make another wish today and send it off with Frog and Toad. So everybody, I'm going to send you, get ready to grab it. I'm going to send you a wish. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Get it. Whoop! Shoo! Did you get it? Okay, great. Hold it in your hand. Let's make a wish together. 1, 2, 3 wishes. And we're going to send it off with Frog and Toad. Let's blow it in the wind. 1, 2, 3. Well done. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. We're going to have more fun together. I'll see you then. Bye.